I grew up in a small town called Lake Los Angeles. It's 30 minutes away from Lancaster, an hour away from Los Angeles. This house was bought by my dad. He built it up. Whatever was in that house didn't come from the land. It came from something I didn't know. The first encounters, I would be outside playing or be alone. I would hear my mom call me. I would run to her. This happened countless times. My mom would be like, "No, I didn't call you. What are you talking about?" I do recall the feeling of being watched, being afraid to be alone. I was really scared of being alone. Even as a toddler, as a baby, I was scared to be alone in that house. I was in third grade. I was sitting down next to my bed, folding my clothes. My closet was wide open. I felt something in my head was like, "Oh, look at the closet." I turned around. My hangers start moving like somebody is looking for clothes. I stood frozen. When I could react, I ran out of my room and went to go tell my mom. My mom was like, "Oh no, you're probably just imagining things. It was probably just the AC. It was probably just the wind." But there was nothing on, no fans, nothing that could explain that. After that, I can't remember much, just being really scared of being alone. I was really terrified of my closet. I would close my closet at night, wake up, and the part of the closet was open. It was a sliding door closet. It was open like if somebody could peek through. I would gaslight myself, "Oh, maybe I didn't close it right." But now thinking back on it, I would close my closet right because I was very scared. I was in fourth grade when I actually started seeing whatever was in the house. My dad had an office room. Our hallway was really long. It just had doors. I was sitting there in my room watching TV. My dad was in his office earlier. I never saw him leave, but all of a sudden I did see him walk by. I was gonna ask my dad, "Hey, can I play pinball on the computer or go on Club Penguin?" I walked into the office. It was just pitch black. When I had just seen whatever that figure was walk into that room. That's when I was like, there's something wrong in this house. I saw that figure go into the room. Since the hallway was dark, the room was dark, I didn't make note of it. I didn't think. But as I walked up to the door was shut. When I opened it, the room was completely pitch black. There was nobody in there. I ran to the garage, told my dad. My dad is a very non-believer, and he was like, "No, it's just in your head. You're watching movies." I told my mom. I feel like my mom always knew what was going on in that house. She would always try to keep it calm by telling me it was just my imagination. I continued to see shadows out of the corners of my eyes, or the closet. I would hear noises in the closet, ruffling, things like that. We left to Mexico for vacation, and we came back. I overheard this conversation. My uncle was telling my mom that in my room, in the closet, he heard voices. He heard ruffling. He felt something, a very negative presence watching him. My mom was like, "Oh, it's just our sister," because her sister had passed away. My uncle was like, "No, that is not a presence of our family. That is the presence of something bad." My mom chose to blow it off. Later on, I think I was in sixth grade. I don't remember a lot of stuff. Maybe I blocked it out because I was so scared. I used to love watching A Haunting. I was sitting there watching with my dog. I started hearing my dog. She was growling at the hallway. I was like, "What's wrong?" She stopped. I continued to watch TV. Then she starts barking like crazy. I looked up and saw this tall, dark figure walk from that office room to my parents' room. My dog was going crazy, barking. barking. I grabbed her and I went outside and I was like, hey, this is what I saw. They always wanted to tell me that's not what you saw, that it was just in my head or in my imagination. I knew it wasn't. After that, things started to pick up a lot. I started feeling things touch me and whisper right next to me. There was this one instant, my sister had come over. She was healing the relationship with our family. I was babysitting her son. He was toddler age 2 or 3. She left him in his playpen. They had all left to Walmart. I was left alone. I was in my bedroom, cleaning, getting ready for school the next day because it's Sunday. I felt like when somebody walks behind you, but somebody small. I thought it was my nephew. I was like, oh, he climbed out of his playpen. He's gonna go play next to my closet where I have all the toys. I started hearing rustling where my backpack was, where all the toys were. I was like, hey baby, stop doing that. It just continued. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw his figure, a small little figure there. I was like, hey, you need to stop, don't rip my stuff. I walk from my bed to where the closet is. There was nothing. I immediately ran out. I went to go see where he was. He was sleeping in his playpen. I picked him up and ran outside. I called my sister, hey, you need to get home right now. I don't remember being this hysterical, but my sister said I was crying, screaming, telling her to come home. She came home as fast as she could and calmed me down. She didn't gaslight me. She knew what was going on in the house. She knew what was happening. Time goes by. We're moving out of this house. It was during recession. We were going to Mexico. I was packing my stuff. The same way my closet was open in the 3rd grade. The same, everything I was doing the same. I looked up again. My hangers were just moving. I was so mad at the circumstances of moving to a new country. I told it, you need to stop, you need to leave me alone. I was so mad, it just stopped. The moving hangers just stopped, completely stopped. It was shaking and it stopped. Right before moving out, my mom was sitting down on the couch. We were watching novelas. I got upset at her. I left to my room and locked the door. I was sitting there writing in my diary. All of a sudden, I just feel my room shake like an earthquake. We used to have this religious figure. It was La Virgen Maria. She was holding baby Jesus. And I started rocking back and forth. As soon as everything stops, I get up, run to my mom, and I'm like, hey, Mom, there was an earthquake. There was an earthquake. My mom just looks at me. She's like, what are you talking about? Are you okay? What's going on? I explained to her. She just was like, okay, we'll pray together. That's when my mom started really realizing that I wasn't lying. She knew the whole time. Fast forward to us being adults living in a new house. We were all sitting down. I started telling my mom, remember when you would gaslight me so much about this house? My sister starts laughing. They start laughing. They're like, we all experienced stuff in that house. They just wanted to protect me, have me not be afraid. My sisters, they decided to play summoning games, mirror games, Ouija board in that room. The closet used to have mirror doors. After the summoning games, she dreamt about a demon, a presence trying to suck her into the mirror. She woke up with scratches on her cheeks. I think when my sisters played those summoning games, those mirror games, that Ouija board, they let something out. It wasn't good. I don't know if it was a demon, but it liked to mess with me. It liked to cause fear, to make itself known. It was really scary. My mom, she tells me that in that room, she was never able to sleep. She felt like something was there, a negative, nasty presence watching her. My sister, when she would come over, she wouldn't sleep in there either. Everybody who stayed at that house that was family, not family, they always said the same thing. They heard ruffling in the closet or a voice, a really strong negative energy watching upon them while they sleep. Whatever it was, it's still in that house. Right now, that house, it's alone. Nobody lives in there. There's abandoned cars there. Somebody owns it, but I don't think anybody stays or resides there anymore. I've never been back to that house. I did go back to my friend's house. He lives next door. We were waiting. I forgot what for. My friend was like, let's play Ouija board. Come on, it'll be fun. I said, okay, that's fine. We started to play. It's going smoothly. We look up protection. We do it in a safe way. But all of a sudden, the mood changes when my friend asks it the question, hey, do you know us? It says yes. We ask it, how long have you known us? It doesn't reply. We asked, have you known us since we were kids? Yes. I started to feel exactly how I felt in that house. That same presence that I always felt. I don't know what it was. Just a negative, dark presence. I told my friend, we need to stop. We need to stop playing this. Whatever was in that house is channeling through your house. We need to stop. When we stopped, we closed everything, said goodbye, but I still felt very uneasy, like I was being watched. The same way I hadn't felt in a long time. My friend was like, oh, you're fine, you're fine. I went home that day, I still felt the same way. Lights would flicker. I don't know if it was a coincidence. I started waking up at odd times, 3 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning. I started feeling scared. My friend was like, you should go to somebody who does a cleansing. We went, we did a cleansing. She said whatever was in that house before was trying to attach itself to me again. The curandera, bruja, I don't know what to refer to her as, told me that not to play with those things because in my family, somebody had done brujeria to my dad. Whatever was out to hurt my dad was out to hurt us. I didn't know this. My mom, she did confirm that my grandma and my aunt would do brujeria. They would do things like that. That's what the lady ended up advising me. That's why I feel like I believe a lot in that now. So later on, my mom met the lady that rented the home. She asked my mom, was there anything, did anybody pass away in this house? My daughters are experiencing things that we can't explain. My mom said I would just pray and be strong with your faith and your religion. They can't hurt you. My mom didn't tell her what happened to not scare her. She had just rented out the house. She was a single mom. She was happy. I still experience paranormal things. We moved into a different house and this one wasn't as scary. It was comforting. We moved into a house and my dad works with wood a lot. He was making my mom's friends a box for her ashes. Her ashes were in our house. I remember this night they had took my door away because I was being a bad kid. I was falling asleep. My dog was barking at the hallway. I pushed him so he would stop. I woke up. He's still doing it. I decided to cover him with the blanket. As I'm falling asleep, I felt something like when your mom used to wake you up to go to school, if she would touch your face to wake you up. That's what it felt like somebody was doing to me. I brushed it off. I thought it was my dog. Then I felt it again. I opened my eyes. There was nothing in the room. My dog was just sitting there frozen. I think he was scared. He was silent. I was like looking everywhere. There was nothing in the room. We say it's that person, my mom's friend, because I used to call her grandma. I feel like in a way I was her coming to say bye. She never got to say bye to me. But that's a different experience, not as scary as the ones in that house where I felt things touching me or watching me. It's really scary to think there's things out there that like to cause fear, that want to hurt you, especially when you're a child.